There are only three certainties in the American comedy industry: hecklers, death, and controversial news about Katt Williams. Look, at 44 years old, Katt fought with a 17-year-old kid during a soccer match.
Hey, stop, Katt.
But controversies haven't stopped him from making Americans happy. Comedy has earned him a net worth of $5 million. Honestly, Katt Williams has lived a fulfilling but crazy life. So sit tight as we journey through the controversial life of Katt Williams. Katt Williams has been at the top of the U.S. stand-up comedy industry for over 20 years. But his life could have been different. You see, Katt's parents, John Cornell Williams and Brenda Louise, were Jehovah's Witnesses. And like most parents, they wanted their child to emulate their lifestyle. So they trained him to be a Jehovah's Witness and prioritized his education. By 3 years old, Katt could read. In fact, he could communicate with English, French, Creole. Everything seemed to be going well for the family, but one day something changed. Katt Williams wanted out of his parents' religious life. He was tired of religion, but his parents were having none of it, and this led to a major quarrel between Katt and his dad. However, it didn't stop at a normal family disagreement. Katt surprised everyone. He packed out of his family house. And guess what? He was only 13 years old. In 1984, at the tender age of 13, Katt Williams left his parents in Dayton, Ohio, and moved to Florida. Unsurprisingly, reality hit him hard. It was his period of humble beginning. He became an underage kid with no shelter, support, or guardian on the streets of Florida. But these obstacles were not enough to stop him. He was no normal kid. To solve the problem of accommodation, Katt Williams decided to live in a public park, and he became a street vendor to find his daily bread. Despite these challenges, Katt knew what he wanted. He loved comedy. So he spent his spare time creating fresh jokes and honing his comic skills. But Florida wasn't the place for him. Before we continue, please take a moment to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, as it helps us to keep making these amazing videos. After spending his early teenage years in Florida, Katt Williams moved back to Ohio, but this time he went to Cincinnati, and that was where he had his big break. You see, although Katt had honed his skills for many years, he didn't have any real-life experience. He was like a farmer without land, and he was keen to change that situation. So, one day he found a nightclub that doesn't check the ID cards of comedians, and he decided to take his chance. He entered the bar through the entrance for comics. His plan was to chill and absorb the experience, but the unexpected happened when the MC called Katt to perform a 5-minute improv on stage. Recalling the incident in an interview, Katt once said, "I was so nervous, but everyone laughed and thought I was funny. After that, I was opened up to the wonderful world of comedy." Improv is where a comic really gets to shine if he is good. That's as close as a comedian can get to the playoffs. I went through those years where I wanted to be the funny comic. Now I'm trying to be the greatest comic of my time. By 1999, 15 years after leaving his parents, Katt Williams was a household name in the world of comedy. Katt was a staple presence at top comedy houses like the Ice House, the Improv, and the Comedy Club. He even had a private comedy room at the Hollywood Park Casino, where he had lots of raving fans. But that was only the beginning. The 2000s was a decade of success for Katt Williams. He featured in numerous successful bet shows such as Comic Views and 106 & Park. In addition to that, he made a name for himself as Money Mike in the box office hit, Friday and the Next. But his real career game changers came in mid-2000s, from 2005. In the year 2005, he had a breakout role in Nick Cannon's game show, Wild 'N Out. And 2 years later, in 2007, he created his first comedy movie, Katt Williams, American Hustle. This movie cemented Katt's place at the top of American comedy. But Katt wasn't satisfied. Like Oliver Twist, he wanted more. So the next year, 2008, he released another comedy film, It's Pimpin' Pimpin'. This film peaked at #1 on the US Billboard Top Comedy Albums and #5 on the Heat Seekers charts. Katt Williams was now a legend in the comedy industry, but America had yet to see the real legend of Katt Williams. 24 years after leaving home, Micah Katt Williams was now a man, a successful man. But beneath his success was a huge bag of flaws. You know, after Katt's second comedy film in 2008, he went on a 4-year hiatus, and those were 4 years of unending controversies. It was a controversy-filled hiatus. It all started in 2007, the peak of Katt's rise to stardom. Katt was returning from a trip, and when cops at the airport searched his suitcase, they found something unbelievable. A gun. But not just any gun, a stolen gun. Katt could easily have bought a licensed gun, yet he decided to buy a stolen gun and spend 3 days in jail. However, the worst was yet to come. 2 years after releasing its Pimpin' Pimpin', Katt was arrested for stealing $3,500 worth of coin and jewelry. Thanks to his affluence, the police released him the next day, but not after he paid $40,000 bond. As if that's not enough. The next year, 2011, Katt paid $50,000 bail for felony intimidation because he intimidated a witness in a case about 3 women who assaulted a tractor driver with deadly weapons. Now, if you think these incidents would force Katt to keep a low profile in 2012, think again, because Katt tightened his foot on the pedal of controversy. Between November and December 2012, Katt Williams was arrested 3 times for 3 distinct incidents. In one of these incidents, he drove a 3-wheeled motorbike on a sidewalk and nearly hit several bystanders. However, in that same year, 2012, Katt returned to the screen with his 3rd HBO comedy special, Katt-Pacalypse. This release didn't make the same wave as his first 2 releases. But Katt did make waves with a bizarre arrest after a dispute in a bar in Seattle. After this incident, Katt made a surprising decision. A day after his arrest, he announced his retirement from stand-up comedy. But before his audience could recover from this decision, 4 days after, Katt made a complete U-turn. He decided to unretire, and his management had a perfect reason to justify his actions. In an interview with TMZ, they said, the reason why he made remarks was due to him feeling totally disrespected by all the things that happened to him in the city of Seattle. He had a moment where he felt very unappreciated. He now just wants to move forward from those unfortunate events and give his fans outstanding shows from this point forward. Katt Williams spent 4 years constructing a legend of unending controversies. However, that wasn't the only thing that kept him busy. Ever since he became popular, Katt Williams is synonymous with controversy. But that doesn't mean he's morally bankrupt. In fact, it's the exact opposite. You can see it in the number of children under his care. Katt has only 1 biological son, Micah, yet he's a father of 10 children, 5 boys and 5 girls. How? The simple answer is adoption, but the true answer is much deeper. Listen, before Katt Williams became a star, he was a struggling wannabe comedian. Yet one woman, Quadira Locus, stood by his side and loved him, regardless. Katt and Quadira got married, but the marriage lasted less than a decade, and both parties went their separate ways. But Katt did something amazing. You see, prior to their marriage, Quadira already had 7 children, and after the marriage, there was a possibility she could lose them to the foster system. So Katt came in and saved them. He adopted Quadira's 7 children and became a dad of 8. Some years later, he brought in 2 more kids and became a father of 10. Thanks for watching. Click here to watch another video. Do you think Katt Williams would have become a star if he didn't leave his parents? Let us know your answers in the comments, and we'll see you in the next video.